everyone. As Pastor Ko mentioned, my name is Clara, and so I think I briefly shared with Rosemary that it's been about like 6 years since I moved to Madison. Before that, I lived in Champaign, Illinois for about 7 to 8 years. But before that, I grew up in Korea. So 한국말이 훨씬 더 편해요. So there might be some some words or other like sentence that sounds awkward, but I hope it, yeah, I hope we can all communicate well, okay? All right, so today, let me see if I can share my screen. Can you see the PowerPoint slides? And can you also see my face together? Great. All right. So I was hoping, so the way it all started is I started a Bible study with Pastor Go through some of you may know Kyungsu Kim. She is my good friend, and they were doing Bible study, and I had an opportunity to join them. And while we were going through those week by week, I had a chance to like share about like, well, I kind of do have a passion about like, I mean, or interest in like encouraging our potential like future leaders or like college who is preparing for college and any kind of like things that I could share that could be helpful for you guys to prepare for your future and short term it might be for college. And I need to say that I didn't go to college in US. That means I didn't go through the SAT or ACT process, but I went to college in Korea, which has their own system. So there might be certain things that I can answer or cannot answer, or I can search for the right resources and connect you in later on if you do need so. So today, I was hoping to cover these on the screen. So things we want to cover. First of all, this is our first time kind of virtually meeting all together. So I would like to start with a brief introduction about like getting to know each other a little bit. And I want to I hope this could be an interactive like session. So if you guys have any questions, we can bring it on the table and we can talk through about those um, together. And there are two aspects that I'm thinking. Like one is like an overview, like not only about college, but what's our dream? Like, what do we want to be when we grow up? I know we are all like semi grown up, right? And I'm also feel like I'm still growing up. I'm 37 years old, so I'm like in like emo or como age, but I also feel like I'm still growing. I'm still trying to be an adult. So let's think about like um, thinking about our own future and what's God's plan toward ourselves. And then at the end, we can also talk about some practical tips for college prep, which is coming up in the next few months or a year. And at the end, we can all have an open discussion all together. And while we are having this like let's talk session, if you guys can bring up any questions, we can start from that discussion. So we don't need to follow this order at all. Okay, and thank you for sharing the video screen. If you feel like, oh, I need to take a bathroom break or something, you can always like keep the screen off and then come back and whatever works for you. So I just want this to be a casual session for everyone. All right, so I think we have like five people joining us. I wish we can start with sharing, like briefly sharing about ourselves. So if let's take turns and talk about what's your name and which year you're in, which grade you're in. And I'm curious to know about your favorite movie. It could be the recent one or like the movie of my life, things like that. And one fun fact about yourself. So I'll start and I'll just go through the screen from the top to bottom so everyone can have an opportunity. So my name is Clara Jung. My Korean name is Hyun-hee, Jung Hyun-hee. School year, I guess I'm 37 years old. And it's been decades since I graduated high school or college. And my favorite movie is The Sound of Music. Is there anyone who watched that movie, The Sound of Music? Yeah. Okay. It's Dana, right? That's a classical movie, like musical theme. So if you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend you to watch. It was on Netflix. Disney Plus or there might be other ways to look for that. And one fact about myself, I have 4 guinea pigs in our house. Their name are Boomy, Eggy, Quirky, and Cricket. So Quirky and Cricket are a couple. And we have another dog named Mandu, which means dumpling. So, okay, so that's about myself. And let's see, I'm seeing Rosemary on the top.
Well, hi, my name is Rosemary, and I'm a junior at Madison West High School. My favorite movie, maybe Harry Potter or um, Les Miserables, because I usually like to watch like musical stuff in movies. And one fun fact is, I don't really have a fun fact.
Oh, it doesn't need to be fun or any fact or a family hobby. I don't know anything.
Well, maybe I have a younger sister,
Oh,
and I like playing golf.
awesome. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Rosemary. And I'm seeing Donna. It says not here. Is it Donna? I hope I pronounced your name right.
Is that me?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
has na in Hangul, so I was like,
Yeah. I don't know. We didn't really name myself. My name is Krista, or my Korean name is Da-eun.
Haun.
I'm a junior in Mayville High School, which is like an hour away from Madison.
I see.
Um, I don't know what my favorite movie is, but I like the songs from Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, nice, nice.
um, and I'm half American, half Korean.
I see. All right. Krista, right? Krista. Awesome. Thank you. Now I'm seeing John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a junior at West High, and I can't think of a favorite movie, but one movie that I really like is Busanhaeng or Train to Busan, and I really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
One fact about me is that I'm currently in the STEM program that MMSD does, so I'm taking classes at Madison College.
Awesome. Wonderful. Nice to meet you. And next it goes to Hayne.
Hi, my name is Hayne. I'm a junior at Memorial High School. Um, I like the movie Spirited Away, and one fun fact is I like running.
Awesome. Do you regularly run like every day or a few times a week?
I used to run a lot, but since it's cold outside, I don't really run anymore.
Right. Yep. Yep. That makes sense. That's great. Thank you. And uh, lastly, Phoebe.
My name is Phoebe Yun. I'm in ninth grade, and my favorite movie is probably Ponyo.
Ponyo. Ponyo.
hmm And one fun, it's not really a fun fact, but I like writing.
You do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you like essays or novel or poem? Is there a genre that you like?
Um, Anything, honestly, I'm okay with anything.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm thankful that I knew most of the movies that you mentioned and I watched that too. There could be a generation gap somewhere, but I think I got everything. So great. All right. So let's move on. I mean, so I was curious. I know this could be a kind of a broad theme, like how do we do college prep? And there are so many aspects that could fit into this college prep for youth pathway themes. So I wanted to start off by listening from your side. Like, how has your planning going so far? So, how's your, if you are already in the path of like starting to think about which college you want to go, and you kind of know whether or not you want to pursue a certain major, things like that. It could be starting from that aspect as well, or thinking of like a far future, like after 10 years or 20 years, this is my dream, like this is what I want to be in the future. um I know what I know, but I mean, I'm gonna need a little bit of help of the specific steps to get there, things like that. So just sharing about where, what you know about yourself at this moment, and then what are the things that was kept in your mind that uh, I would like to get some help on this, but I would like to know how to tackle this question that I have in my mind. So if you can share those as a group, that would be awesome. So this time I don't want to like just like pick on someone, and let's start with you. So if is there any volunteer who want to start um, sharing? And let me know if you need some guideline on like um, details. The start from the long term, do you maybe, or that might be another question for us, like what was your dream when you were young? Like this is what I wanted to become when I grow up. Like when you were 5 or 6. Yes, Krista.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Ooh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, but it's too far away. So I want, well, I don't know exactly what I want yet, but I might go into the science major,
Gotcha, gotcha.
and I want to go to UW Madison, but I don't know any other
I
colleges.
see, I see. And have you started like looking into like what are the requirements for the admission? I see. Good, good, good. That's great.
I've been preparing since I was in like 6th grade.
Really? Wow. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, starting early is a very good tip whenever we prepare for something. I mean, as long as you know what your goal is. Marine biology, that's great. Was there a like trigger or like motivation how you got interested to marine biology when you were young?
Um, well, I like swimming in the ocean a lot, even though we don't have an ocean over here.
Yeah.
And I really like dolphins
Gotcha.
and a lot of other sea animals.
I see. See. Wonderful. And do you think you're on track of like how what to prepare? Like what are the requirements, and you know how like you're going through the checklist and on a good track?
Um, well, kind of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I haven't, like, I'm kind of undecided right now about my major,
Mm-hmm.
but if I end up going with science, then I'll like take some science classes in my senior year.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anyone wants to go next? Or I can. Yes, Phoebe.
When I was young, I wanted to be a doctor, but right now I don't know what I want to be.
I see. Mhm. And you like writing. So are you open, like you're pretty much open to anything, or are there any things that, okay, I know I'm not gonna be, this is not gonna be my major.
Um, I mean, I kind of like helping people, but
Mm-hmm.
I give a lot of like advice to a bunch of like students at my school for some reason because
Oh,
they
you
don't
do.
bother me. Like they won't stop bothering me about it. So, um, I guess I can have maybe in the future I'll be like a therapist or something like that.
Awesome. Yes, yes. There was one time that I thought I want to study counseling psychology at some point too, even though I wasn't a science like chemistry major for a while. So I'm glad to hear that too. Thank you, Phoebe. Shall we go to anyone?
I can go next.
Yep.
Uh, I don't remember exactly what I wanted to be as a child, but or when I was younger, I guess I'm still technically a kid, but I know that I want to go to UW Madison and take some sort of and major in some sort of STEM field. So right now I'm taking courses like science and math courses
Hmm.
to get there,
I
and
see.
yeah.
Do you think you're kind of figuring out because STEM could be a bigger
Mhm.
umbrella, and so you're trying to figure out the specifics, like which?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's great. I like science too. Okay, so now we have Rosemary and Hayen. Shall we go with Rosemary?
Um, well, when I was younger, I don't know. I guess I wanted to be a pianist or something. And now I'm not really. But maybe like for now I'm quite a bit open to everything except like literature or like history stuff. Those are
I
like
see.
they're not like um so I kind of planned out everything last year, but like after the crisis of COVID and stuff like that, everything like I couldn't really do anything like volunteering or any testing and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like struggling out on that because and also like I kind of want to get help on like essays and stuff because since I have not done much, I don't think like I have much like interesting or inspiring experiment on my high school years.
I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Essay could be a hard part because this is like, what's your story? Like you're coming up with your own story with your potential and then let the admission office to know like this is who I am and this is what I want to pursue. So it does need time to think through that, right? Mhm. Yeah. Understood. Thank you. Thanks, Rosemary. And lastly, Hayden.
So when I was younger, I wanted to be like a nurse or a doctor, but now I probably don't. But I'm really interested in like finance and business, that kind of field, just because I think like it's a fun career option and it's kind of easy. But I know for like a fact that I don't really want to do science related things just because I'm not that good at it.
I see. I see. Finance and business. That's awesome. Was there a like a motivation or a trick, like a kind of like event that led you to that certain area?
Um, I just feel like I'm better at math than other like subjects, and I feel like business is kind of like a really open field. You can do anything. There's like different kinds of business
Right.
related
Right.
things you can do.
Hmm. Has a great potential, and it could branch out to various pathways too. All right. Well, thank you, guys. I think I am learning about you guys as well. And I'm kind of impressed that I think when I was in high school, I didn't even have these kind of like plans or my knowing about myself. It took me a while to come to the point where even you guys are. So yeah, this is just very, um, I don't know, how can I say this? Like, 되게 감동적이에요, 나한테. So. All right. So with that, then I would like to share a little bit of my thoughts. So as for me, to briefly talk about myself, when I was growing up, I just wanted to be, my dream when I was young is to become a mom. I wanted to have 5 kids and just raise it, like just be like a good mom and friend with them. And I don't think I really had a definite career plan in my mind. However, because my dad was a chemist, I was very like mostly exposed to the chemistry field. So that's why I kind of pursue it on going to undergrad with the chemistry major. However, since then I did like kind of shift from chemistry to more applied science, which is toxicology, and then it got related to public health. And now, currently, I'm working at a company called Kimberly Clark. It might be more familiar with you guys with Huggies diapers. So I'm working on the diaper section. So I'm doing like the product safety part for all the baby products like pull-ups, diapers, or good nights. And it's just been a few months for me to be in this position, so I'm still learning. But anyways, let's start with an overview. So there are a few things that I want to share with you when you're thinking about your future and when you're planning your next steps. What are the few things that I want to share with you? So from Clara to you with love. So let's go to those in details. The first thing that I really want everyone to be aware is I really want you guys to use this time to explore yourself. So it's not about like, we are not trying to come up with an immediate next plan, like the practical things. But beyond that, I think your age, this period of time is a very critical and very like blessing moment where you can start exploring about yourself. And knowing about yourself is the starting point to look for the room for improvement or finding your dream or trying to like overcome your weakness, all kind of things that happen from here. So is like there might be times when you're spending your time watching Netflix shows or like BTS. Do anyone like BTS? I don't know any song about BTS. Yes, right. So there's going to be lots of like cultural things that you guys like to follow and your spare time. But I think it's really important to find a chunk of time and think about yourself. Like just trying. So this is, in other words, try to be the best friend about with yourself. And what I'm saying is you can start with this journey by asking all sort of questions to yourself, like what makes me happy? What is the time, or what are the times when I feel like, oh my God, that was so much fun? And what are the moments then when you generally feel frustrated? Or what type of things make you nervous? And what kind of hobbies do I like to do? And what are the things that you spend your time the most? So there are a bunch of questions, but this is just like, oh, I'm meeting someone in my first time and I just want to get to know you better. And then once you understand that person better or yourself better, like slowly but surely, you're going to see the way how God created you in your own like unique way. And you're going to start find more interest in a certain area. Yeah, I think when I watched that movie, that was really fun and I really liked the main character. What part of the main character was attractive the most? Yeah, maybe I find a similarity with that character, or that's something that I want to pursue and explore more. So you can start with these questions. And I think besides all your subjects that like the study area or meeting the checkbox, this is something that you want to continue. Start from this age, but also it's going to be a continuous journey as you get older. So I'm trying to pause. So in that case, you can think about your cases as well. Who's your role model? Like whenever you get a question, who's your role model? Who can I think, who comes to in my mind? For example, I think my dad he's still my role model. But if I say my dad is my role model, which part, especially which part is the one that I admire? And one thing I want to emphasize is whenever you're exploring about yourself and your weakness or strength, whatever, it's not a process to judge yourself or like oh 이것밖에 안 돼. I need to do better job. It's not a process to do to find those things. It's more about understanding yourself, your unique features that God created, and asking God like, oh, what's gonna be my next direction that I want to pursue? And it's kind of a realizing the process like, oh my God, I have these kind of aspects. I have these kind of like, I don't want to say it as a feature, but characters in myself. And what's going to be the part that will can maximize this through my life? And for me, I think when I was young, I was always told by my parents like 공부해라. And you need to be a 훌륭한 사람, famous 사람, or I don't know, a successful person. But I don't think I had enough time to thoroughly explore myself. But I was rather trying to follow, like I was told that chemistry is the most like beautiful subject in the world. But didn't had I wasn't having enough time to explore. Yeah, chemistry. I really think that's an interesting part. And how can I connect this with other like practical life examples, like food chemistry? That could be one example. And if you do like baking, oh, I wonder what will make a better taste of this certain type of bread. And that's going to involve some sort of chemistry or cooking, that kind of knowledge from nutrition, things like that. So anything that you can think about yourself, that's going to be a starting point where you can explore deeper. And FYI, if you guys have any questions or like want to know more, just please feel free to interrupt or like ask, say it out loud, okay? And if you have other topics to bring up. Yes. So number one, explore yourself and try to become the best friend of yourself. That's going to be one like general thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And the second one is once you know about yourself, the next step is going to be expanding your boundaries. So when I say expand your boundaries, this can come in many, many ways. And of course, during this process, you can ask God to help you with this. So first of all, I think expanding boundaries, the example can be lots of things like trying new things. Oh yeah, I really like that kind of activity I done in the past. I wonder if I can explore even deeper to learn more or have a broader chance to get into that. So maybe I can take a class, whatever the subject that you were interested, or try to start Googling to gather more information about that. So digging deeper into your hobby and see if this is really what I can do well and also I will enjoy more in the future. The other part could be like overcoming your weakness. If you do realize that, oh yeah, I do tend to get nervous when this situation comes, then, and I think I would like to overcome this weakness or try to learn how to cope with that as I'm going through. Like it doesn't need to be like I must do this thing. It's gonna be more like a willingness that I would I would want to improve this aspect. And when that comes, then you can start like step by step. How can I go through that process? And meeting new people and getting information like by talking to others, either the expert or your friends or family, whoever can help you trying to navigate those aspects will be another process of expanding your boundaries. So the first thing that I thought was, yes, for example, I really like movie, so I'm keep bringing the example from the movie. But have you watched the movie Shirley? I haven't watched it, but it's about a story about the pilot who saved like many lives by landing the flight on the river, Hudson River. So for example, if you learn about Shirley and oh yeah, I wonder how this job pilot, I would like pilot sounds to be a cool occupation. Like I want to be a pilot. Or if you're young, like dream when you were a kid, your dream was to become a pilot. So if you want to look into further and go into further, like, okay, the next step will be what should I need to do or what information do I need to actually become a pilot? So I think Krista, when you said the marine biologist, so if you are still like have that interest and someday maybe I can become a marine biologist, then once you know your desire, then the next step you can look into is like you can start simply just Googling how to become a marine biologist or look for other stories like who is already in that occupation or yes.
I just wanted to say my brother's a pilot, so this is kind of funny.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah.
he's in the Air Force right now.
Really? Oh my God, that's awesome. Did he wanted to be a pilot since he was young
Yeah,
or yeah,
ever
cool,
since
cool.
he was young. Hi, Mom.
Yes. Okay, that's great. Yeah. I mean, pilot was one for me, it was one of a random like example that I could think of because I'm scared of heights. So I don't think I can become a pilot, but anyway, so that's great. Yeah, so just making your dream a reality, then it's not going to be like you're going to be a pilot the next day when you wake up, right? So there's going to be a step-by-step process that you need to go. And I guess the first step, like it's all going to happen together at the initial part. Is this really what I can do or what, or if this is what really God wants me to go through? Is this something that God will support me to go through that way? So that's going to be one thing. If you want to learn new things or pursue that, explore that, you can do that. You can do that actually by doing like taking action, small step, right? And the other part of this is like overcoming your weakness or improving your weakness. And so after exploring yourself and you've learned about your weakness point, and I do have a desire to overcome that or become better at that, then um, you can try small actions for that too. And one example that I wanted to share with you, went through this kind of self exploration journey for a while. And one thing that I figured out was whenever people ask for a feedback, I hated to provide them a feedback. And I didn't want to get feedback from others as well. And I was like, I wonder, I didn't like whenever people send out an evaluation questionnaire to like talk about the course or presentation, like, can you provide us feedback? I was always like refusing to do that. And I was like, I wonder why. And this is making me uncomfortable. I wonder why. And when I was keep thinking about this, I dug into that. One thing I realized was I'm really afraid of being judged. I don't want to be judged or like blamed by certain things that I didn't do well enough. And because of the same reason, I was refusing and I didn't want to provide any feedback to others. Why should I provide feedback? They just did their best. So that's good. So let's not even question about that. So that was my inside thought about that. However, as time goes by, I realized that this is not the healthiest way to pursue. And one day I came to realize that, okay, the reason why people are providing feedback to each other is because you want them to be better and then you want them to improve in the certain aspects. So it's not about like, it's because you want to judge someone. It's not about the judgment part, but it's more like an encouragement and a positive way to improve. And once my mindset shifted, I tried to be more active and not waiting for someone to give me a feedback, but rather I started to ask other people. So to my manager or my supervisor, I started to go, hi, John. Yeah, I just wanted to know like what you thought about my presentation or the meeting that I had the other day. And I wonder if you can give me any feedback. That was a great step for me to go ahead and like actually take action on that. But once I started to practice that with the mind, like with the new mindset saying that, oh, this is not about getting judged. It's more about improvement, and we are working together to encourage other people even in a better direction. So that was one of my major change that happened in the last few days. Because when I was even in grad school, I was so scared to go to my advisors, so scared to do anything in front of other people because it has to be either perfect or I'm not going to even talk about that. So that was one of my weakness, and still I'm trying to go through that improvement. So it's similar in that I bet there are going to be some things that will make you nervous, or some things that you are very shy of. And if you think that like overcoming that is something God wants you to go through together, then you can start taking small steps to expand your boundaries. And the last one is, of course, asking other elders or the expert in your area or whatever your question is, trying to learn more and gather more. And these days, if you do have any questions, I do figure out there are so many like social networks available, and also in YouTube there are lots of like small videos that is talking about uh, different topics. And I think there's another website called Talk Time or so. So if you do know what your questions are, you can start exploring those. And also you can start asking other people around you. And once you start to convey that conversation, then it's going to make you make more connections to each other. So that's going to be another way to expand your boundaries. Yeah. And the last one is please keep open-minded. And I know that few of you said, I don't know what my major is going to be. It's kind of undecided. And that is okay. All the things that you're going to think of, maybe I should start with this, even if I do know that I want to start with the science field and I know I like these A and B and C, and I don't know which one to start with, it's okay to start with option A. Because if so whatever you do, whatever you choose at the next step, everything is going to be at the end. So everything is going to be a journey, and at the end it's going to come as a whole story. So Roman chapter 8 verse 28, I really like that verse. Like so 모든 것이 합력하여 선을 이루리라. So it's more about deciding your major is not going to be that one-time decision that's going to decide your destiny or so. You will always have a chance to expand or shift your pathway. And to validate this, if you ask your parents or any adults around you, I bet not many of them are living the life that they dreamed of, or just their current life was made by one-time decision. So it's very important to have open-minded, and don't be scared about making a decision at this point, especially when you're going for college. You can start from major A, but as you go through, you'll find more about yourself. You're going to continue your self-exploration. And then, oh yeah, I initially thought I was good at this skill, but now I'm getting more interested in B and C. I wonder how I can either incorporate this feature B and C as a whole, or is there a way that I can shift to the new pathway that I haven't think about? So that's going to happen every single time. So it's not uncommon that your pathway will not be a straight road. So just keeping those open-minded is going to be it's going to be very important. And one thing that I want to say is whenever you're deciding your major in for your college year, um, hi, Pastor Go. Yeah, don't be scared about don't be worried about uh, this is gonna be the final point to make your future. So you can still be open-minded and continue your exploration. And I think in the US, the system is pretty nice. So whenever you want to transfer to another major or want to choose a different pathway, you will always have an opportunity to make those shifts. Yeah, and this is the So The Sound of Music is a musical. There are various songs introduced in that movie, and this is one of my favorite song in that. So there is a mother nun, and her name, the main actress name is Maria. And when Maria is kind of struggling whether or not I should stay in the abbey or should I go back to the kids, uh, where she was kind of a tutor or nanny, the nun, this is the song that the nun shares. And I just wanted to share this lyrics with you all, just to let you know that um, life is a journey. 모험으로 사는 인생. So 모험 is an adventure. So always think your life as a long-term adventure where you will be able to find unexpected surprise. Sometimes it could be hard. Sometimes there's going to be a challenge. Sometimes you'll need to shift the direction than what you're thinking of. But toward the end, that is all the effort to meet the right path that was um, that was planned for you. So climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. So continue to search for that throughout your life, even before college, during college, after college. Once you get to your 30s or 40s, it doesn't matter. And until you find your dream. Someday you will go to that. It's more about the direction where you go, what kind of person that you want to be. And then according to that, the career is not the thing that defines you. It's more about the person, the direction, or the value that you want to have in your life. And the career is something that follows along with the person who you are. And I really hope that the last paragraph it says like a dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life for as long as you live. And one thing I want to emphasize is I think life is a journey, and it's gonna be is a blessing that you can find a thing or a life that you like, that you love, and you have passion. And the other important thing is a life where you can spread love, where you can love neighbors, your neighbors, just like Jesus did. So try to think about that path, like not only about my own like career success or what other expectation that could come from others, but try to think about what your life and passion, love and passion aligns with the gospel, like loving your neighbor. Like what is going to be the way to maximize your love to God and also to the neighbors. And I believe that it could come early in your life or it could come in the midpoint or the later point, but no matter when it comes, God will help you to find that way. Okay. I know it was kind of a broad like topics that we went through. Is there any like so far, is there anything that you guys want to share or questions um, with the things that I just talked about yet? Okay. All right, then moving forward, so that was a broad term, like overall, how do you think about your future? And the next are the few tips for college prep that I kind of like look through other internets and resources. So I try to gather the essential points that I thought that could be helpful for you as well. So there are a few things. So all of you, except for Phoebe, I think 11th grade, right? Yes. So when you're prepping for college, I believe that you all started to study for SAT or ACT and also like focusing on your grades, right? The school grades are important and thinking about your essays and just checking your requirements. And out of one of the first tip that I can provide is always better to start early. I think Krista, you said you started pretty early, like years ago for the college. That is great. So always start early and try to have a timeline, a planned timeline. And for example, I try to kind of sort it out. This is not going to be a standard way how to you do it, but if you were thinking of before junior year starts, like it's going to be important to meet with your guidance counselor. And did you all like meet with your guidance counselor yet? Okay. Okay. So if you haven't, you can talk to your guidance counselor and also continue this conversation. And here, I think the most important thing is try to set the goal. Like, what is going to be the realistic goal, or um, and kind of filter out the majors that you can apply for, right? And during that year, the fall test, I know you guys already passed this one, but come up with an initial list of potential colleges. And this could kind of start from exploring yourself and expanding your boundaries side. So uh, yeah, to start the exploration. And I think most of us are in the winter test like this year, right? On January, February. And this is a time when you can start narrowing down the college choices and look into scholarship opportunities. Um, Let me see. And I think you guys already are going through this, but once you have a list, I think average people will apply for 5 to 8 colleges when you apply, or it could be more, it could be less. But one important thing is you need to go visit all the website of each college website, because each college will have a different requirements. The minimum GPA, type of essays, even like what some universities will ask for one essay, or it could be 2 essays with different topics. Let me just ask, have you all like have a kind of potential list of college where you want to apply, or is everyone in the kind of initial step of still exploring? Krista, in between? Yeah. So I think this is going to be a season. So we still have like few months left to narrow it down, but it's going to help you a lot to focus on which schools and try to meet those criteria. When I was applying for grad school, I think I was using an Excel file to start with like 30 schools at the beginning, but over time, I'm going to narrow it down to the realistic, like the goals that I um, narrow it down with the specific task um, that I have to work on. And even in those tasks, I had like 3 different categories. One, my dream school, or like I might need to do a bit more study or do a better job to kind of be eligible for this school. So there's a dream school kind of thing. And the second one will be a reasonable one. Okay, if I keep my pace on this one, on my SAT score or GPA, this is going to be a school that I can match. And other one is going to be the safe one. I know I will be eligible to be get admission from the school. So just having that different categories and focus on your work for the top tier that you want to go, that's going to give you a better plan and what I need to improve to meet that uh, requirements. And once the spring task, I mean, once it becomes to the spring season, I guess it's coming up soon too. Now you can start thinking about requesting letters of recommendations or apply for summer job and internship, which is a challenge, as Rosemary said, because due to COVID, I know lots of like opportunities have been kind of limited. Um, but I'm not sure if there's any virtual opportunities where you can get more experience on this one yet. Have you guys, is there anyone who start internship or planning to do any internship or other like summer work in the past or these days for the college? No? Okay. All right. Yeah. And the last one is, of course, starting the essay app, starting to think about the essay draft. And so what I want to show you here is instead of like having all of these tasks coming to you at once, it's always better to make a short-term goal and a medium-term goal and the milestone for each month or so. And it's not going to be overwhelming at the end when you actually submit the application. So it's plan it out by each time frame, one by one. And one thing I need to talk about is I heard that many schools are keeping this SAT and ACT optional until 2023 or so. And whether or not, if you're deciding whether or not you need to take this SAT or do I need to take this SAT or not, these are the criteria that I kind of found from other like admission programs. So if you are considering pursuing these kind of programs, it is better to have to take the SAT and SAT so that you'll have more 차별력. So you'll have more potential, or you can show the admission office that I do have this, I do meet this criteria to get accepted. But if you are not specifically aiming for this one, I think it's going to be okay not to take SAT, ACT for this year, but it's going to be, it will really be based on what you think. And I think, John, if you're looking for the STEM and for science and engineering part, I know that SAT and ACT could bring you more benefits, right? If you do have the test results as well. Okay. And yes, so, and using your network is the last thing that I had. If you are having problem with your SAT, like if you need help on SAT or ACT, then you can start ask for help. That's the main thing. Like you can ask your teachers. If you're going through a tutor, that's going to be one way to learn for it. And if you are also wanting to know more about, if you have a specific college that you are very interested in, and I want to know more about how the school life is like, then you can start looking for people who are actually attending that school. So don't be shy and try to reach out and then ask them, like, can you share how the life is at that college? What are the challenges? What are the benefits? Things like that. So starting this network early on is going to be very beneficial. And I can tell you, this network, even though you have one person like or friend who you met in high school and college, you never know how you're going to meet them or reconnect with them again and years later, and they could also be a potential help for you, not only for your career but as for your long-term like life events and everything. So don't be shy and try to reach out to all network. And if you don't know directly, then you can ask one person like, do you know anyone who is in this college or who has this major or who is actually working in the business or finance area? And then starting from that, even though it's a stranger for that person that you get connected with, starting to ask questions to them and building that network will really going to help you. And of course, searching internet and reading through those documents could be helpful, but I think it's always better to have a practical example who can share the in-person experience with you. Okay. Yes, and I said everything could be kind of overwhelming when you're preparing for college, but try to do try to think about one component, one mini component of one component for each day. Like for example, essay, what kind of story do I want to bring into my essay? What could be the strength, like a good example that I can bring in? So start brainstorming about that with like bring yourself a sufficient time to think about this over time. And then you can start to like draft. And Phoebe, I know you like writing. So I wonder if you do the writing like this too, like you bring all the different pieces whenever you can think of, and you can take a memo, and then at the end it could be one thing, or one day if you click that, okay, this is what I want to, this is the story that I want, then it could be like completed in one day. But so it could go either way, but try to collect the components, the required pieces, small pieces, one at a time. And also in that context, having a planner or a calendar so you can track of this progress will be very helpful. So maybe you can have a calendar on your wall saying that these are all the due dates, like early admission, and like these are the date that we need to submit the essay or SAT for this school. And also, and these are the tasks. I need to finish this essay by this year, by this time. So by the month of July or something, I need to have a first draft ready for review. So having those kind of specific tasks by each time frame and have it on your wall calendar or having on your planner and taking memos, that's going to be all like small tips or like the building blocks for your entire application package. Is there anyone who are already doing that, like have a calendar on your wall or have a planner? Yes, good, good, good. Awesome. Okay, guys, I hope I didn't lose you throughout this stage. I want to hear from you guys. Was first of all, um, is there any questions that you want to discuss or that hasn't been answered or we haven't talked about that at all? Was there anything that new or kind of like, oh, I haven't thought about that way, but oh yeah, that makes sense. Like kind of either take home messages or other like follow up thoughts that you want to share? Nope. Good, good. Yeah, and this is just like my contact. We did find a monarch that egg the other summer. So we were able to hatch this monarch a few months ago. And that's the picture of our monarch when it hatched. And if you guys ever need, so for me, if you have any questions or connection, especially on the science field or any career that you want to learn more, but you don't have a direct connections, you can ask me at any time. And even though I'm not the one who actually went through that experience, if I do know a person who I can connect with you, that's one thing that I would be more than happy to do so. So just let me know. You can reach me out through either Katalog email or phone number, and we can also talk. And if there's anything that you want to like either talk to me or any other person in more details, um, just let me know so we can set up another one-on-one time for that as well.
Okay. Uh, could you turn on your mute? Just turn on your mute. Okay. Uh, Thank you, Teacher Clara. Thank you so much for your sharing and the good guidance. I'm very happy to hear you. Okay. Uh, so I just wanna learn how do you feel and what do you learn through this time. So could you could you please share who's first? Okay, Rosemary first. So just share what do you learn and what do you find? Anything? How do you feel? This story about that? Yeah.
Mm, well, maybe like I kind of reassured myself that planning out is really, really important. And like, I actually thought that like the social network wouldn't like really help because I thought it would be really different for everyone, like especially in for the college application. But I think I should try to reach out people and like ask people about it. And yeah, the one thing was that I thought I knew myself really well, but then like I still have to like learn more on that, I guess.
Yeah, I was a little surprising to uh, Teacher Clara mentioned about the use of our network. Maybe last years, early last years, my first son Daniel, he was 11th grade. Someday he come to me and ask me, "Hey, Dad, I need internship position." I was surprised. What the hell? So I have no idea how can. But he asked me, so do you have anybody who do you know anybody who working at college? So, so I thought I was just thought, thinking okay. So I realized that I know the one biology professor. So I asked him. So you have any internship program, or I just explained my son's situation. Surprisingly, he offered he give us the one internship position. I never expected, but he said that it's a non-pay, no pay position. But if your son wanted to run, so he said willing is open the position, and also he supported somebody to do that job. So even though my son didn't choose that majors, he choose his own one. But using that position, maybe he spent 6 months for internship once a week. Just he went to the lab and then practice some laboratory job, maybe some clean a beak, something very basic job. But either ways, using that position, when he applied the college, I believe that is another good benefit for him. So yeah, so if you want any that kinds of the opportunity, just ask your parents or ask me. I'm not sure I can help, but either way, just use the whole your network. Maybe who know that somebody can help you. Just I think that is another good way. Okay. How about hey?
Well, I learned that I need to start planning. I guess having like a planner or a calendar could be helpful. And I feel like I'm too set on like one college, but I should try to look at other colleges and like other places because it's good to have your options open. And yeah, like the network thingy, I feel like I should get to know more people or like try to interact with more people so I could have more connections in the future.
Mm, okay, very good, good. Okay, how about Christine? Dana.
Well, I've done a lot of these, so I know a lot of it, but I kind of forgot about the essay part. So I would say I relearned about the essay. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Krista, so were there any like kind of like similar seminars or like workshop that you attended to learn these?
I attended 2 UW Madison things.
Oh, nice.
My ad one. I've looked at like a bunch of college stuff and job stuff.
Mhm.
I just a lot of stuff. And
I
then
see.
my mom always helps like well, she helps around the school.
Mhm.
So she always gets like information from the teachers and stuff. So like a couple years ago, I got a whole stack of the high school scholarships that my high school offers, and it's just sitting in my desk.
Wow, that's great. Are there anything that we can share with the group too? Like
Um,
other resources, like or
um,
links?
well, for UW Madison, there's like a lot of resources
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go there. And
Okay.
then if you, I don't remember what the website is, but there's a certain website that tells you like each college and what each college is like known best for and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So I would say like look at those kind of things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Christine. Yeah. How about PB?
Um, since I'm just a freshman, uh, I guess time is very important. So I don't have to rush through too much because I have so much time left because I'm a freshman. But not only because I'm a freshman, but time goes really fast. And I think that you have to use it as it's a good opportunity for you to use it and go step by step, not like really big giant ones, just like baby steps as you keep on going. It's like building blocks.
Right, right. You're so smart, PB. Yeah. So you have the in advance, so that's more good advantage. I think. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. How about John?
Yeah, so so much to what other people said, but I also feel like I need to start out with smaller steps and also expand um, the list of potential colleges. Because right now I've only been looking at UW Madison pretty much, so I should probably create some backups.
Okay. Okay. So uh, I have one question for you all guys, especially for 11th grade. What is the most challenge you are preparing uh, college stuff? We just want to help you. So I'm not sure how can we help you, but either way, we just want to know what is the most what is challengeable stuff in at this point. So just always please share the one or two. So we're gonna especially pray and also we can looking for any way to help you guys. Yeah. So how about John? What are the most challenging things to prepare the college stuff?
Probably like the the like the timed parts, where like you have to only have a certain amount of time, especially for like the really long word problems in like English or science, like chemistry. You have to look through, see what actually is important, and that's yeah.
Hmm. Okay. How about Rosemary?
Can you remind me of what the question was? Sorry.
What is the most important, the big challenges that you are for you preparing the college stuff? Yeah.
Mm, well, maybe preparing for SAT and ACT, I guess, and like trying out for the leadership positions because it requires you time and like a lot of communication between people that you barely know. So I guess those two are really
Mm,
going hard for me.
okay. Okay. How about Hein?
I guess balancing schoolwork and like tests like the SAT, ACT. And I guess just like the whole process of like applying to colleges.
Mm, okay. 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 How about Christine?
Definitely ACT. I've been trying to study with my friend for it for like 2 months now, but then I went on a trip, so it kind of messed it up. Um, well, there's a bunch of other stuff, but that's it.
Okay, okay, okay. So teacher Clara, do you have any anything to want to share more?
I think I covered most of them. I'm just realizing there were like few examples that I wanted to share about my own story, but I was just rushing through, so I didn't have a chance to cover all of them. But I'm sure, yeah. I just hope that this session was at least helpful for everyone in certain aspects. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much. Yeah, this is just I think this is the first step to prepare your long journey. So maybe 11th grade and 12th grade. So maybe I think it's the right track. So if you know a little earlier, it's much better to prepare well. Yeah. So okay, okay. So I think it's let's keep contacting other with us. So if you regularly, I think we need follow up to prepare. I have no idea so which major or which college do you want to go there, but either way, so we have the one clear goal, one clear target to go to the school. So whatever you want. So, but before enter the before getting admission, so we need uh, prepares depend on your desire. So I believe that we can keep touching to encourage each other and also find a way to more, to share the information or to share some uh, stuff for helping each other. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Also, we have a guest. It's Kyungsu Kim. She is friends of Clara. She finished PhD UW medicine last year, maybe last year. Yeah, last year. Now she is a postdoc at Iowa University. Yeah. So 경수 자매님, 예,
네,
예, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
예, 우리 저기 유사이들한테 하실 말씀 있으면 한 말씀 해주셔도 돼요.
무슨요? Okay, but I need to correct one thing first. I'm in the University of Iowa, not Iowa University. But anyway, so hi, my name is Kyungsu Kim. I'm sorry I cannot show you my face, but I think almost everyone knows my face from now. But anyway, one thing I want to share. I don't know, Clara already talked or not. Probably she did. But the thing is that life is short, but in other ways, life is kind of long. So sometimes we do make mistake, but the thing is that within Jesus Christ, I think it is okay to make a mistake, especially for our like future, life in terms of regarding academic, you know what I'm trying to say. So don't be afraid that what you make, you may find that this is not my, life things for my future. But the thing is that it's okay, still it's okay, because within Jesus Christ you can change until I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just want to say that don't be afraid of what you're trying to do for now. But the thing is that you need to keep praying for it, what you want to do, and then you need to ask God that, please God, help me to find me and find the way I can, succeed within, your boundaries. So within the Jesus Christ, I think it's okay. Just, I just want to say, don't be afraid, because for me, when I was young, actually, I'm a nurse, but now I'm the nurse researcher. But I didn't mean to be a nurse at the first, time. But the thing is that my parents want me to be a nurse because in Korea, it's a kind of good job as a, female. I don't agree with that, but anyway, my parents thought that way. So they actually pushed me to go to nursing school. That's why, I chose my career. And then later I found that it was not, actually I'm good at it. I was good at it, but the thing is that I didn't really like what I was doing. But I found that later I like to teach. And then I like to, I like to, help, student to grow in some ways. So I think being a nurse wasn't being a nurse was not really what I wanted to do, but the thing is that within nursing boundary, I can still teach, and then I really enjoy it. So I don't know what I'm saying, but just don't be afraid. I don't know. Just don't be afraid, and then keep praying for it, and then you may think that I don't like it, but although you are already if you are already in there, keep doing it until God says stop. Do you think that makes sense what I'm saying?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sonny, thank you. 목사님, would you mind if I just share just a piece of my story? Yeah. I mean, so thank you, Kyung-Sonny, and that reminds my story just to share a little bit because similar to Kyung-Sonny, I think at the beginning I told you that my dream was to become a mom of 5 kids when I was young, and then I started with chemistry. But since then, similar to Kyung-Sonny, my life also changed over time. So when I was in grad school in chemistry, I still had this desire, like I want to do something more related to people, and I wanted to be someone who can help people when they're like frustrated or struggling. And that kind of led me to go through the toxicology, which is more practical applied science than chemistry. And when I was doing a postdoc, that theme even got bigger, and I got really interested in the public health side. So that was the reason why I joined the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. And I know like COVID, like now the health departments are very busy, and I was part of the environmental uh, section, environmental talk section. And my motivation there was I really want to help people who are struggling from this environmental contamination. And I don't want that to get into their water or soil or whatever the air, indoor air they're breathing in. And that was the theme. And when I first got to DHS, I thought I'm going to stay in this same job forever until my retirement because this is my dream job. However, after 2.5 years, things changed, and that's how and currently I'm at Casey, as I mentioned earlier, but also doing the risk assessment for diaper products. So it seems like I was like jumping around, and I'm still like keep shifting. However, there is a theme. The theme that I found is I do like helping people, just like Phoebe said. And also, I do like children. I like to work with children and serving children. And that theme is still there, is still active. So it's more about the direction that what I'm trying to pursue, not about the specific careers or anything. And overall, God is making a story out of all of us. So I just wanted to share that last.
목사님, I have one more thing. Actually, I think if you asked me earlier that be prepare what one thing to say to the youth, but while Clara was talking about her story, I kind of think that I'm a little bit imaginatory person, and then I always have dream big. So I want you to say that please dream big, because sometimes we all know that realize that our ability to do, but the thing is that in fact as a Christian, I think that's the privilege that we have Jesus Christ within us, especially like Holy Spirit within us, and He can do everything. So if you decide something you think that I may not be able to do, forget yourself. You believe in Jesus Christ within you, and then do whatever you can do, and then let Him do whatever things you cannot do for him. Because, I'm postdoctoral fellow. Actually, not like, Clara, I didn't like study when I was young. And then I wasn't good at it. And I never thought that, even my parents never thought that I'm going to be a doctor. And then now working toward, research. But the thing is that when I moved University of Iowa, and then sometimes I was frustrated myself, because when I look at the thing I have to do, I strongly feel that I cannot do that, because I think that that's beyond my ability. But at the same time, Jesus talked to me that, no, don't worry about yourself. I am with you. And then you think if you cannot do that, and then just let me help you. So what I really need to do at the time, I just need to let him do it for me, and then believe in him. So I think you are preparing for college, even sometimes as young children, but sometimes they worry about their ability to get the school, get the school you wanted to go. Also, I don't know, you may not, but when I was young, I was the one who worried about the money for school, because I have two sisters, and then they are all the same age with me. Like, my older sister was 2 years older than me, and I'm twin, so I have twin sisters. So we actually went to college all together. And then I was good kids, because I was worrying about my parents. How can they pay for my tuitions? Because especially in Korea, parents usually pay for tuition for their kids. So I was worrying so much about it. But right now I'm around 40 years old, and then looking back at time, and then I actually am sure that I don't even really need to worry about that part. Because you know what? God was, and then God is our resources. If you are worried about your knowledge and your ability to get into school, as well as your money, you just let him. That him is equal to Jesus Christ, your heavenly Father. Let him do it. Let him take care of it. What you need to do this point is study hard, and then dream big and study hard, and then God will make your way.
Amen. 고마워요. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for your time and your passion to join our first seminar. Give hands to Teacher Clara. Thank you so much. She spent many time to prepare this time. Thank you so much. So, anytime you have any question, any help, just talk to us. So maybe I'm gonna share this PPT files with your parents. So any question, just ask us. So we're gonna try to find any way to help you guys. Yeah. So thank you so much. May God bless you, and may God help you prepare this college preparation well. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Let me pray for closing. 하나님 아버지 감사합니다. 이 시간 하나님께서 또 우리 클라 선생님과 우리 친구들 기억하여 주시고 또 여러 가지 좋은 나눔을 하게 하셔서 감사합니다. 하나님, 우리가 한치 앞을 알 수가 없지만 그는 하나님께서 기억해 주시고 인도해 주시고 이끌어 주시기를 기도합니다. 그래서 이들을 통해서 하나님께서 영광을 받을 수 있도록 하나님께서 모든 필요한 것들을 또한 함께 해주시기를 기도합니다. Have a faith in God, have a big dream in God. 하나님 이들을 축복하여 주시옵소서. 감사하고 예수님의 이름으로 기도합니다. 아멘. 예, 감사합니다.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. PB, thank you. Christine, thank you. Hey,
Thank you.
Rosemary, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
네. 감사해요. 현희 쌤이 아이고. 수고했어요. 수고 많았어.
애들한테 미안하지만
아니야. 현희 자매님 가서 저기 막 교수해도 되겠네. 너무 잘하.
아니에요. 아니에요. 아이들이 그러니까 아이들을 파악하느라고 도움이 조금이라도 됐으면 너무 감사하고요.
아니요,
네.
그럼요. sure, definitely. 예. 그리고
아,
주신 요거는 제가 저기 부모님들이랑 같이 나눌게요. 그래서
네네네.
저기 그분들이 좀